visit the heritage town of Carcar in southern Cebu, look at the quality of this work. This was done in the 1920s. It's still there. So when you go around the country, or when you go around Manila, or when you even go around an exhibition like this, just look at everything. Take a fresh look. Because once you look at it a second time, there's something that you're going to see. I'm not saying that you're going to lift this design and make it yours. Some people do that, but we all know we shouldn't. But the idea really is, and I'm assuming that everybody in this room is looking to develop very unique products for himself or herself, is you have to look at everything around you. You have to understand what it is about Filipino craftsmanship. You have to understand what it is about Filipino traditional art, so that you can do something that's very 2014, that's for next year, based on something very Filipino. And you don't have to make it look like a tourist souvenir. It can be very, very sophisticated, very, very high-end, very, 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 very select. Ideas are everywhere. Look at this baluster from the Western Mindanao State College in Zamboanga. This was done in around 1910, 1920, American government era. This was a school in Zamboanga. We have to also have a respect. We have to recognize what traditional Filipino craft is, but we have to respect it. We're just not going to knock it off and sell it to the next person. Because once you knock it off, you deprive that craftsman of his skill. You make his skill go downhill, you debase it a little bit. And the other thing is that you may even be contributing to the loss of that craft. So we need to respect the traditional designs. We need to know what they are. We need to know how we can push them, how we can pull them, how we can turn them around to make them into a contemporary product. We've been talking about adapting cultural motifs. This is probably one of the most sophisticated adaptations of Filipino architectural motifs. If you can manage to get into the Metropolitan Theater downtown, it's boarded up, but maybe even from outside, you can see, because there, that was done in the late 1930s, 1939, by the architect Juan Arellano and the sculptor Italian Francesco Monti. And what they did was they adapted Filipino traditional design into 1920s, 1930s Art Deco style. So you have these vines here that have become grill work. You have this Muslim box that becomes a pedestal for this sculpture. You have the grill work, the railings that again are also evolved from Filipino flora. So how do we translate cultural heritage into commercially successful and viable design? Like I said, I'm only asking questions. I can't give the answers, because for each person in this room, there's that many answers. Each one of you will have your own method and your own answer. Is globalization closing in the gap between product and cultural identity? Cultural-based design has become globalized. And this is because we have mass media, we have social media, we have design consultants that go from country to country. We have buyers who go from country to country and adapt our products. And so chances are we're going to end up with a very similar product coming out of the Philippines and Thailand, maybe Malaysia or Indonesia. And where do we draw the line? If we end up with a product that's similar to one in Thailand, the only way we can compete is by lowering our price. We don't want to do that. We want to compete because we're the best. So we want the Philippines to be a trendsetter, not a trend follower. In our days as being Milan of Asia, we were the trendsetters. I think we should get that back again. I don't know how, but somehow we should. There's a responsibility to cultural heritage. It's the sustainability idea, actually, because craft, the heritage of craft is vanishing very quickly. Old people, the people who are weaving the blankets and the baskets and carving this and that are really old. The younger people don't want to do that anymore. How do we get the younger people to want to do that? We don't want to duplicate the carvings in resin. We want the real thing. We were talking authenticity of product earlier on. We want to maintain that. In the same way that we want to use this product for high value export. So you see there's this dichotomy here. But again, if we think sustainability, then the answer will come. We cannot just tell somebody in Ifugao, stop doing that vegetable dye stuff. It takes too long. Here's this fabric, here's this yarn made in Marikina. And now if you look at Ifugao, if you look at Cordillera weavings, all the tapis have that awful red, that very acrylic red. The younger generation associates that as that is the color, and when you go to a museum or you see an old lady wearing one of those traditionally woven and vegetable dyed textiles, you can see the difference. So how is it that we can go back, or we can allow certain people who want to do that kind of thing to keep on doing it, so that they know that this is a traditional and this is the acrylic stuff that we do because it's cheaper and it's faster to weave? These are the sustainability questions that we're beginning to have. When I was at the design center, I remember the fantastic Yakan piece cloth, which is very complicated. We simplified it. And we thought, wow, it was such a great thing to do. And many years later, in all the markets I would go to, especially Zamboanga, the original Yakan piece cloth was hard to find. You had all of these simplified design center stuff, and I said, oh my God, I'm guilty of doing this. And so, yes, you can simplify, but reinforce the original. We talked authenticity. We need the authenticity because we need the grandchildren of these weavers to know that this is the original weaving. And this is the one that we're doing to sell to tourist shops and to export to other places. So again, the idea here is, as we mine our heritage, and we are doing that for export in many ways, we each have to find a way of putting back. It's not a one-way street because we need to save something for our children. Whatever is our idea of heritage is probably caging us, so don't we want to get out of this cage? And don't we want to weave our heritage into something new, but keep the old? Everything we do, like I said, our culture shows through everything that we do, and so it does also through our design. It's showing through the super modern rattan furniture that there's a lot of it here. Filipino culture shows through there. Underneath all of that, Filipino shows through. Our heritage shows through. Maybe that's something that we should take more pride in. We have to really stop a while, like I've been saying, take a look at everything, take a close look, because then your mind will start working for this new product that you can do, for the new idea, and for you to move forward, or all of us in this room to move forward. We don't really want to look at things in books, anything printed, anything in the social media, because once it gets there, it's already, it's no longer current. We have to take an outward or an inward look at our heritage. We have to understand that, because here we are in, oh, it's my phone, just leave it, I'm sorry. We have to take a look, a very good look at where we come from, at what we do, and what we know, so that we in turn are very confident of what we are doing and what we can